Hi, this is Rachel Roberts, State Representative for District 67, coming to you here from my home. I wanted to take this time today to answer some of the most common questions I'm getting through my legislative email account, but also social media and phone calls that specifically circle around unemployment insurance, who's eligible for it, small business assistance, all of those things. So if you give me about the next 10 minutes, hopefully I can help answer some of those questions for you. I hope you find this useful. Thanks. I'm going to share a little screen with you real quick. All right. So again, talking about during this time of COVID-19, some resources and some responses you might be able to take specific to unemployment insurance and small business association loans, grants, things along those lines. So first of all, the questions I'm getting most days right now. Number one, who's eligible for unemployment right now? Who can apply? How do I apply? What happens if I've tried to apply, I've gotten bumped out of the system? What happens if I received a rejection letter? Those are the most common unemployment questions I'm getting right now. And then I'll talk about those, and then I'll talk about small business association stuff for those of you who are business owners, independent contractors, self-employed, that kind of stuff. All right, first and foremost, who can apply for unemployment? Broadly speaking, if you have lost your job or had your hours greatly reduced due to the COVID-19 response, then you are not only eligible, but you absolutely should apply for unemployment. And you should do it as soon as you can, specific to the day of the week, which I'll tell you about here in just another moment. But for those of you who've never been eligible for unemployment before, those of you who are independent contractors, who are freelance workers perhaps, who are small business owners, you can apply in this moment in time because this is such an extraordinary thing that we are all going through together right now. So you can see a list of people here who might not normally be able to apply because they have not paid into unemployment insurance in the past. And just so those of you who are newer to this process understand, unemployment insurance is just that. It's an insurance policy that employers pay into each month to cover their employees should they need to lay them off or terminate them. As independent contractors and small business owners, we don't pay into that for ourselves. Now, if you own a small business, you may very well pay into that for your employees, but likely don't pay into it for yourself, which is why you've never been eligible up until this point to get unemployment insurance, because simply you didn't have that policy in place, you weren't paying into it. But that has been waived for all of us in this moment in time, thankfully, so that we have access to resources. However, because this is new, our system is not set up to accept people who haven't paid into it. So most of you who apply, who fall into that category of being a small business owner or an independent contractor or a freelancer, are going to receive a rejection letter. So most of the questions I'm getting are from people who've applied, who were finally able to apply, and then got this rejection letter and are wondering if they're still eligible. Yes, you are still eligible. And I would encourage you to see, when you get that letter, see it as a positive, because it means you're truly in the system and your case is moving ahead. But it has to be taken care of on the back end. That system, the system automatically sends those letters out, but someone is manually overwriting it on the back end so that you are moving ahead in the process. So again, I just encourage you to see that letter as a good thing. It means that your application is being worked on. When to apply? Anyone who has lost employment because of COVID-19, you should be applying, but let's talk about the specific times and days to apply. You can see on this list that we've broken it down into day of the week. So our system, again, was set up for normal times to be able to take the normal influx of new unemployment claims. We are far beyond that in this moment. So we've had to break it down by day. So you should apply based on the day of the week that corresponds to the first letter of your last name. And if you miss that day, then Friday is sort of a makeup day that everyone can try and apply again on. Please know that we are aware that the system is overloaded and that there are glitches. And it is really frustrating to go through the whole process and then to get bumped out or to say something's wrong and have to start all over again. One of the problems I'm hearing about that I think I can help some of you with is that if you get to the last page and then you type your name in and you click, I think it's submit or something along those lines, and you get a notice that says your initials do not match up, what I'm hearing from some people is that page before you get that error message, there are checkboxes. And I think it's maybe not intuitive that you're supposed to put your initials in those check boxes, not just a Y for yes, I agree, or a check mark if that's the option. So you have to put your initials. So I would put RR in each of those boxes so that my initials correspond to the signature line where I type and I affirm at the bottom that I'm being truthful in my application. See if that helps. I hope it helps some of you. I know that might not fix everything, but it has helped some people. If you get bumped, the best I can tell you is please be diligent. I know how frustrating it is. I know how scary all of this can be. Please be diligent. Keep trying. Try it off hours. So if you're an early bird, apply first thing in the morning. If you're a night owl, apply at night. I've even heard that the 5 p.m. hour is a good time to try because so many people are watching the governor's press releases or the press conferences at that time. So try different times of the day. Please keep trying. You will get through. I'm sorry it's been frustrating for so many of you, but be diligent. You'll get it done. All right, moving on. This slide shows sort of the normal process for processing claims. Now, if you're an independent contractor or a small business owner, you may get a little bit of a delay in here because that manual stuff has to take place on the back end. But I want you to take a look at the day 13 to 12. That's when you're going to receive the letter. So for small business owners and independent contractors, the ones who are getting the rejection letters, my understanding is that that letter will say, like it will report income for the last 4 quarters, and there'll be zeros next to it because again, you hadn't been paying into that system. So when you get that letter, know that you're already here. You're already at day 13 to 12 or 3 to 12. That's a good sign. That means you are in the system and things are moving forward. I've also added on this slide a phone number for unemployment insurance in Northern Kentucky. There is a statewide 1-800 number, but this is for our region. And those of you who have more specific questions or aren't getting the answers you need from this video, call that phone number. My hope is that you'll have better luck getting through there than perhaps that 1-800 number. Those of you who are looking for business relief in this moment and small business association loans or small business administration loans, this next part is for you. So there's 3 ways right now to apply. The first is to apply broadly for the SBA loan program, disaster loan program, and that's disasterloan.sba.gov. So please start there. Now, I've already been through this. I'm a small business owner whose business closed down on March 15th. So I've been going through this process myself, and I'll tell you that the first stages are quite simple. You don't need a ton of financial data, so don't feel like you have to have your CPA on speakerphone when you do this. It was all the questions that they asked, I was able to easily answer with just my last year's P&L statement, which I was able to access through QuickBooks. So if you know what last year's revenues were, what last year's cost of goods sold were, and what your overall expenses were, I believe those were the only things that I really had to provide at that initial application step. It only took me, I think it was less than 10 minutes. So it's a relatively simple process to get started. Then once you've started that, I highly encourage you to go to the next, to number 2, to that much longer link there. And I'm sorry, I couldn't find a shorter version of it. You can access it through the SBA site as well, or you could just look up $10,000 SBA relief loan. So this is meant to be money that gets to you faster than the bigger SBA loan program. This is $10,000 maximum. It would get directly deposited into your business account much more quickly than the SBA process. So this happens even before you've fully qualified for the SBA loan. They're just trying to get that money to you as fast as possible. Now, keep in mind, if for some reason you don't qualify, that money will have to be paid back, but it is money that's going to come right into your account, and it's supposed to happen faster. So I encourage you to do that next. That is indeed a separate application from the first SBA application. The third part, the payroll protection program. Now, we are all being encouraged to apply for this through our business banks. So if you have a business banker, you're going to go to their website, or you're going to call your business banker specifically and get that process started. This is much more specific. It is to be used to bring your employees back to full employment and to make payroll. You are allowed to use some of the funds for things like rent and interest and things like that. But the bulk of this is truly to bring your employees back to work. And that is the stipulation that will lead to loan forgiveness down the line. I just want to make sure everyone understands that this money is specific to meeting payroll. And in order to qualify for loan forgiveness down the line, the money has to be primarily used for that. There's a lot more information about that on the SBA site. This might be the time that you want to call your CPA or your business advisor and talk to them about whether this is the right avenue for you and your business. But just know that you can apply for it. You do it through your bank, and it is to help bring people back to work. There are two other bridge loans and debt relief that you can learn more about on the SBA site. Those I think are going to be for further down the line. So I'm telling you the first three that I think are most accessible to you right now. Please also know that for PPP, for the Payroll Protection Program, the businesses that are eligible for this include nonprofits and veterans organizations and sole proprietorships and those of you who are self-employed, because what you pay yourself is your payroll, and it's important that you have access to those funds right now too. Here's some pictures of businesses in Newport. I am more or less self-quarantining in my home, so sorry to the rest of District 67. I am not purposely keeping you off of this list. I just haven't ventured out beyond Newport because I am trying really hard to adhere very strictly as we possibly can to social distancing and self-quarantining. So I'm limiting it to the two businesses that I've been to recently, which are my own on the left, and the Baker's Table, which is a restaurant here in town that my husband and I went and got carry out from for dinner the other night. Again, my business has been closed since March 15th, and I'm grateful that we've been able to move some of our services online so that some of my teachers are able to still teach and thereby still draw some pay, but it is a fraction of what my business was beforehand. So I am in this with you, and to the extent that I may be 1 or 2 steps ahead of some of you in the process of applying for these loans and this relief, I am happy to share what I have learned and hopefully save you some of the pitfalls that I may have fallen into. In the upper right-hand corner, you can see these yard signs that the Newport Business Association has been putting out in front of businesses that are open right now, either virtually or for carry-out or curbside. I would encourage you to do that in your community too. It's great that people can actually see which businesses are open, which ones we really can be supporting right now. There are also local relief efforts going on, and I wanted to let you know about some of them that I'm aware of. In Newport, the city of Newport has put together a $500 a month rental grant program. The application for that is on the city website, which is listed here. That's specific to help alleviate some rent concerns, and they're really trying to gear those at least first or give priority to restaurants and retail businesses. The Northern Kentucky Chamber is having a gift card contest. So if you are selling gift cards or gift certificates through your business, encourage your clients to buy those right now. If they buy them, they take a screenshot or a photo of it and they send it to the Northern Kentucky Chamber. The link is there. And the Northern Kentucky Chamber is then going to take all of those images and put them, I suppose, into a basket, pull out some winners, and the winning businesses will receive 1 of 10 $1,000 grants to help support their business in this time. Grants are great. That's money you don't have to pay back. So if you sell those, encourage your clients to buy gift cards and to submit them. And if you have the means right now, be sure to buy gift cards from the businesses you care about and submit them yourselves so they might have a chance for this grant money. And then finally, I just wanted to say, you as business owners, call your bankers, call your creditors and explain to them the situation we are all in right now. You can ask for interest-only payments right now so that you're not paying towards the principal, you're just paying towards the interest. Ask that if you need of your lines of credit. You can ask it of your credit card companies. You can even ask it of your mortgage companies. The worst they can say no, and the best thing that could happen is that maybe your payments will get dropped down to a small amount that helps right now. Also ask your landlords for rent deferral. Now keep in mind, this isn't going to make those debts go away in the future, but it's a way to get us through this moment in time, and that's what's so vitally important. Small businesses are the largest employer in the state of Kentucky. We need you to survive and thrive in this time. We want you to come back and reopen your businesses. We want our main streets to be strong. So take advantage of these things that are available to you right now. Please feel free to reach out to me. Please also watch the governor's updates at 5 o'clock each day. They are mentioning on those updates the issues around unemployment applications, which they are very well aware of right now, updates to the unemployment programs, updates to small business assistance. So watch those for the most up-to-date information. You are always welcome to email me at Rachel q.roberts@lrc.ky.gov. And to the extent that I can be helpful, I will absolutely do my best to help. Thank you all so much. We are in this together. We're going to get through this together. It's so important to me that you and your businesses thrive and come back better than ever. So anything I can do, please reach out. Take care, everyone. Be well. Be kind to one another. I can't wait to see you again in person soon.